This show did not disappoint. If you just want to hear that, that's all you need to know. Because the less you know, the better. Because this sequel series of Jurassic World Chaos Theory, it is that good. Of course, if you're wondering that you need to see the prequel series before you watch the series, not you don't need to worry that you could come in while watching the other one because this is sort of a conspiracy Tana animated series that you have to find out what happened to Darius and the rest of the kids after they escaped the island. What happened to them that expensive 5 years. And this would go into it very interesting. That I'm sort of surprised how mature, dark, and hilarious it really is. And that it's just so good. And also so real sometimes. Yeah, I mean real. You have moments like they driving in the highway and they about to pass Texas and they hear sort of Tejano music. That's little things like that makes the whole universe feel real. That's sort of hard to do because sometimes they sort of can't do it right or maybe they did it the wrong way. But this series just nailed that small little moments to make it feel more real, and that's impressive. On top of this, the animation just improved, but you have that specific moments that make it kind of real. Like for example, you have Darius and Ben started arguing that basically Darius walking aside to the van, you try and open the door, and the camera moves like sideways, and you see both of them in the car and Darius walking together at the same time. Sounds simple, but in an animation, that's sort of hard to do. But of course, this is CGI, so it make it more, a little bit more easier to do. But yet they did that. It's just sort of impressive because you don't expect that to doing this type of animation because those little moments are kind of harder to do, even that you don't know the rigs will fall off or do something automatically while you're actually asking it. You have that moment, so you have to be on that moment, making sure the drawing does what you asked it to do. Those moments do happen in the series. Not a lot, but the little moments just sort of impressive. Now, before I actually spoiled the whole show, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, the reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Now, this is the first time on my channel. You like how it's going. You like to help my channel. Put like, comment, subscribe. That's all you need to do, and that's it. If you don't, that's fine too. Of course, if you do, thank you. I am completely grateful because I'm getting close to my main goal to 1,000 subscribers. And thanks to you and all your help, I am getting close to my main goal. Now, let's get started of the cartoon review of Chaos Theory of Jurassic Park. Now, this whole series is sort of a continuation or a time skip of the original series. But this would make it so interesting. Every single episode gives time to each single character in the series, and the reason why they all united, but at the same time to see them sort of become more mature, they also deal with the trauma were left in the island because they survived, but now they have to go back in society. But the only problem is society has changed. They actually now accept dinosaurs because this is the moment when dinosaurs sort of leaked out in the real world. Now they have to deal with it because they were sort of struggling in the islands dealing with dinosaurs. Now they bring their own problems in the real world. And I like that sort of interesting how each character sort of deal with it. But even more, the something's off them. Nobody really sure. For example, I'm sorry I had to spoil this. This is the last chance to move on to check out and watch the series and come back. That actually, Brooklyn died in this series. She does reappear in the series, but it's more like not callbacks, flashbacks of the moments of each character, seeing her who she was and how she changed and what she was doing in between those moments. But because a Brooklyn was sort of sticking her nose of something that she shouldn't have, she sort of kind of revealed a conspiracy theory that now she is getting hunted and killed, and now the rest of the gang are now being hunted and trying to actually kill them, but they don't know why because Brooklyn has died. This is the reason why everybody are basically trying to unite each other as one and figure out who was doing this and why they killed Brooklyn, was she actually searching. And that is sort of the brilliant part of this anime series. Each one of them has its own issues. Each one of them has a sort of falling out with another member. For example, you have Darius and Genji. In the last series, they became like brothers. Even that, uh, Darius' mother actually kind of adopted Kenji and in her own family. So they were sort of like stepbrothers. But before he actually was adopted, Darius and Kenji was brothers. But the only problem is Kenji was sort of dating Brooklyn. When she died, their relationship died with her because Kenji was heartbroken because she passed away and Darius didn't do anything. But at least that's how he sees it. But you feel uh, Darius, his own pain outwards. You understand why he's sort of depressed, why he hunted down this specific dinosaur for vengeance, or at least something to feel, take away the guilt of not being there with Brooklyn. Till Ben shows up and points out, oh no, this wasn't an accident or anything like that. It was sort of a hit. And this is the thing that makes it so interesting. Nobody knows why this happened, why Brooklyn was hunted down, and why they want them specifically. This is the reason now they everybody had to face each other and actually talk and sort of deal with the issue and traumas what's actually going on. And they executed it so well. On top of this, they executed the world building, how this world is changed. Now they have to help people with dinosaur problems, but also trying to figure out not to be killed by being like on the open hours. You also, I love it, they do sort of explore paranoia. For example, Ben has this sort of trauma of paranoid that he cannot stop thinking. He cannot see people being a threat. They stop at a gas station. He sees this guy calling someone to help him to get rid of the dinosaur, but he thought it's one of them trying to stop us, them have to try and get rid of us. And you can see Darius trying to calm down Ben, but yet he's still so paranoid, but yet he's semi right and semi wrong because he wasn't a threat. A couple characters later, there was someone else that was a threat. And that's what makes it interesting. You just don't know who is who. And you can see why Ben is just so paranoid. But I love it even more. You also found the other trauma characters also, like Jazz. She's sort of stuck in this sort of kind of fake paradise that dinosaurs doesn't not exist. And she's sort of dealing with her trauma, her issues of other dinosaurs because all the death and destruction she saw in the island, and this is sort of her safe area, her therapy that it does explain. There are built sort of specific small places to actually help people to get rid of the trauma of dinosaurs, but at the same time does admit not all of them actually are good, sort of safe therapy places because some of them just hotels pretend to be that way. Yeah, that's why I love this series. They always sort of be realistic, always trying to do something interesting about the world and how the kids interact with. But that's why I feel so enjoyable. Like there's like another scene that basically Ben and another character stop in this sort of kind of fun house, not fun house. It's sort of kind of circus. They show dinosaurs, and they have specific unique dinosaurs, and don't believe they actually have it. But more realistic, these dinosaurs are basically being abused, and the kids are trying to let this character. Well, wait for the character to come out to let the other dinosaur to escape. You have that moment that feels kind of realistic, but I love it. It's sort of the characters themselves who sell the whole series because the show knows it's the characters, their drama, their beef, their understanding. I think one of the biggest complicated characters of this series is Kenji. Like he still feels people don't treat him as equal. He feels he was the last person to get information because it is true. He points out so many things because he was rich, now he's poor, now his father is the president who attempted to use him. He doesn't know his father it does love him or not. He doesn't care, but he needs to talk to him. But what happened to Brooklyn? You have so many emotions with Kenji is all because the voice actors, all of them nailed the performance. All of them feel their pain, their trauma in the situation. Everything just so nailed down. In the horror, did not disappoint. I mean, be fair, it's not like 11. It's like a 7. 1 to 10 is like a 7 or 8 type of horror. But the horror's still there because there are some surprises because they have a lot of death. How many? Put it this way. The last series, you could say about maybe 15 or 20 people died in the side characters division. Or some new character, new villain dies. But this one, you have not stop killing people all over the place. Even single episode, someone dies. And that's sort of shocking because they went for it. And that I have to applaud. This show is just so well written, well thought out. Yeah, I love it. Each character sort of mature also to see who they are, who they was, and also the sort of changes that would happen to them. Yeah, also I love it. The character design of each character are just all aces now. Whereas each one of them they look how they're supposed to look as a kid. They're adult. They look different enough, but yet they feel so unique. You also appreciate none of them were replaced with different voice actors because, believe it or not, every time they do a time skip, they sometimes believe maybe replace the voice actor to feel more realistic, and that's usually the problem because their performances are stuck to the original cast. And this one decided to keep the original cast, and it works. It doesn't feel jarring, doesn't feel anything. Everything feels right. The only maybe minor complaint is sort of how they deal with their own issues, but they're sort of nitpicks because it's sort of I prefer to rearrange some of them, how they deal with it, how they should do it, how they met. But once more, that's just nitpicks. This series just sort of nails everything. Even the horror, especially the creepy lady who trained the dinosaurs. You know her if you've seen the series. She is just weird. She's sort of pale, like she never come out of the sun, but she feels straight off a old black and white horror film. That character who basically take care of the mansion. She's all white with a candle in her hand. This time the candle, she has a flashlight and dinosaurs. She is sort of one of the main villains, but you get the idea. That sort of creepy factor. She reappears just there, especially her relationship with her dinosaurs, just so unhinged. That image feels so perfect that I probably will keep that as an image in my phone because how disturbing she looks. Even that she doesn't do anything, that is just a very good image of her. That character design, whoever drew her, oh, I hope you get a bonus because that was that good. But besides that, I try not to spoil that much everything or the reveals or anything, but this thing is good. In fact, how you felt about this series? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.